Hello, I'm Mohsen Jamal and you watch Afghannews. President Hamid Karzai said on Tuesday that Afghanistan will only sign a long-term strategic partnership deal with Washington if the United States meets Afghan conditions, including an end to controversial night raids on homes. He also pledged that Afghanistan would pay for its own armed forces and police through tapping mineral riches as soon as possible. Washington is negotiating with the Afghan government on a deal to define the long-term American rule in Afghanistan beyond the end of 2014, when NATO-led combat troops are due to leave after handing security control to the Afghan army and police. Karzai was speaking at a ceremony celebrating the first phase of a years-long handover from NATO troops to Afghan security forces, which ended without major incidents last week. This comes a day after the new U.S. ambassador to Afghanistan said on Monday that the United States has no interest in creating permanent military bases in Afghanistan. An Afghan official says clashes in the volatile southwest Helmand province have killed 22 insurgents and 2 police officers. A statement Tuesday from the office of Helmand's governor Gulab Mangal says the latest clashes took place late Monday in central and northern Helmand. It says 22 insurgents were killed in the fighting in the 2 separate locations. 2 Afghan police officers were also killed and 8 insurgents were wounded in one of the clashes. The statement also says that 2 boys died in a separate incident in Helmand after stepping on a roadside bomb. At least 3 civilians, including 2 school children, died and 6 were injured following a NATO airstrike in the eastern Kunar province. Regional Governor Said Fazlullah Wahidi said on Tuesday the airstrike took place in the Fatehpur district late on Monday night. The governor said after an attack by Taliban fighters on an American military base in battle with NATO troops, a grenade fired by one of the Taliban hit a residential building in the attack, wounding 5 Afghan civilians. NATO attack helicopters carried out an airstrike in response, but cannon shells from a helicopter hit a school, killing the civilians. Militants injured 2 security forces personnel in a grenade attack Monday on a major NATO air base at an airport in the eastern city of Jalalabad, the local police chief has said. Sardar Sultani, the police chief for Nangarhar province, said that a few men threw hand grenades at the airport gate and the troops returned fire and the attackers fled. 2 members of the security forces were slightly injured, he said, without specifying if they were foreign or Afghan security forces. Witnesses had reported seeing explosions, including rocket fire at the entrance to the airport. NATO's International Security Task Force said it was unable to comment on the attack. Police in Norway are widening their investigation following a claim by the sole suspect in Friday's killings after he was remanded in custody that he had worked with collaborators. As police search for further evidence, many are gathering in Oslo to pay homage to the victims of the twin attacks that left 93 people dead. Up to 150,000 people paid homage in Oslo on Monday evening, with singing songs, cheering in solidarity and placing flowers on a memorial wall next to the city hall. Anders Behring Breivik, a 32-year-old Norwegian man, is accused of carrying out the bombing in Oslo in the shooting spree on the resort island of Utøya. Meanwhile, Jens Stoltenberg, the Prime Minister, told the crowds in Oslo that Norway would not be defeated by the tragedy. U.S. President Barack Obama has warned that the Republicans' unyielding approach to the U.S. debt crisis was a dangerous game and urged Americans to press for compromise. Obama delivered the warning on Monday in a rare prime-time speech as Republicans and Democrats remained deadlocked over a deal to raise the U.S. debt ceiling and agree on how to bring ballooning U.S. deficits under control. The president rejected a Republican proposal to temporarily lift the debt limit, arguing it would leave the underlying problem unresolved and lead to a repeat of the current crisis in 6 months. Shortly after Obama spoke, John Boehner, the top Republican in the U.S. House of Representatives, said that the United States cannot default on its debt obligations. Libyan officials have accused NATO of killing at least 8 people in an air raid on a food warehouse and medical clinic in Zlatan, east of Tripoli. NATO has denied targeting civilians, saying that Monday's strike hit military facilities in the area. The developments came as the as Abdullah Al-Khatib, the UN envoy to Libya, and the Benghazi-based opposition council discussed ideas for ending the fighting. With a diplomatic push to end the conflict gathering steam, Al-Khatib, after the meeting on Monday, said that he would head to Tripoli on Tuesday to hold talks with the government. The foreign secretaries of India and Pakistan met for preparatory talks on Tuesday ahead of peace talks between the foreign ministers of India and Pakistan. The two countries have fought 3 full-scale wars and resumed a formal peace process in February, which was previously broken off after the November 2008 attack on Mumbai by Pakistan-based militants that killed 166 people. The ministerial talks aimed at rebuilding trust between the neighbors after Mumbai attacks are expected to build on the progress made by talks between the foreign secretaries in Islamabad last month. In recent talks, the foreign secretaries agreed to expand confidence-building measures in nuclear and conventional weapons and improve trade and travel across the ceasefire line dividing disputed Kashmir. Syria's government has adopted a draft law allowing for the creation of new political parties alongside the long-ruling Ba'ath Party. The multi-party bill approved by the cabinet late on Sunday follows other concessions Bashar al-Assad, the Syrian president, has made as part of his efforts to quell more than 4 months of protests against his government. The draft law, which still needs parliamentary approval, would allow for the establishment of any political party that is not based on religious or tribal lines or discriminates due to ethnicity, gender or race. Assad's ruling Ba'ath Party, which calls for unity, freedom and socialism, has held a monopoly over political life in Syria since a 1963 military coup. A key demand of the protest movement is the abolishment of Article 8 in the Syrian constitution, which states that the Ba'ath Party is the only leader of the state and society. And that the United Nations has urged massive action to save millions of people in the drought-stricken Horn of Africa. Jacques Diouf, head of the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, which hosted Monday's emergency meeting of UN agencies and charities in Rome, Italy, said that the catastrophic situation demands massive and urgent international aid. More than 12 million people are affected by the worst drought in 60 years, which has wreaked havoc on water in Somalia and parts of Djibouti, Ethiopia, Kenya, Sudan and Uganda. UN officials say the drought has killed tens of thousands of people over the past few months and has forced desperate survivors to walk for weeks in search of food and water. And that was all for now. Thanks for staying with us.